Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul? Quadruple witching day. Quadruple witching day. Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we could take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. And they can't hear Coach Paul because I dropped the ball. Let me fix that really quick. Coach Paul, give me an audio test real quick.
Checking.
There we go.
Checking. 1, 2, 3.
Now
Good to be back.
Good to be back. Coach Paul was talking about quadruple witching day. What is that, Coach Paul? Tell us a little bit about that. What is that?
It's when the futures, front month futures expires, options expiration, ETF expiration. What's the fourth?
It's supposed to be single stock futures, right? But we don't.
Single stock, yeah, I'm in trouble with it. It's expiration. Really didn't it didn't have an effect. We didn't rally because of that.
Yeah.
I don't see it, but it can be a very eventful day, bring some volatility. It didn't today.
Nice. No, it did not. Gerwin in the chat says this day was the worst for me. Ended the day down $300. If that $300 is measured, then good job, right? But if that was more than you measure for, then consider how you can measure your losses and then go from there. But let's get into the news. So yesterday on the close, during the recap, we were preparing for PCE today. It didn't come out, and it was on the calendar, but they moved it. PCE is coming out the 23rd, unless they move it again. But we did get some numbers out this morning. We got Canadian retail sales came in at 0.2% forecast, negative 0.2%. Forecast was 0%. Michigan sentiment came in at 52.9. Forecast was 53.5. And existing home sales came in at 4.13 million. Forecast was 4.15 million. Anything you got on the news? We did have the president making an announcement about his deal with pharmaceutical companies and drug makers to hopefully bring prices down. Anything else you got, Coach Paul?
No, I didn't even know they didn't release PCE. What was the excuse? What was it? That's news to me. What was the excuse? It was a bad number. We don't want to release it.
It's not ready to take out of the oven yet.
Oh. Well, it goes back to when I talk about trade your plan and plan your trade, you just know the news if it's supposed to come out, but making decision based on news is a very low probability setup.
For sure.
But there was great opportunity. But other news than that, over the weekend, maybe something happens. Nothing much happened outside of that. We did see last night's news in Japan on the rate decision, which drove the yen down, which we were looking for. Other than that, nothing big that to me would affect dramatically any markets.
Agreed. So let's take a look then at the quote board. We have 36 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts today. To the downside, we had the Ultra bonds down 0.42%, soybean oil down 0.56%, and the Japanese yen, like Coach Paul just talked about, down 1.4% on the day. Really nice trade there. We'll talk about that one in just a little bit. We had silver making new all-time highs, up 3.37%, micro Bitcoin up 3.7%, and micro Ethereum, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 7.29%. Crypto's still trying to figure out where it's going, but it's been presenting some decent opportunities on both sides. To talk about our big five, we had crude oil up 0.98%, the S&P up 0.85%, gold up 0.14%, natural gas up 2.53%, back above that $4 level, and the NASDAQ up 1.25%. Today is Friday, so shorts covering in crypto, it could be, right? That big whale wallet was down like 85 million at one point, and then I think he made it a little bit back, and then he was only down 40 million.
That all?
Only. It's a huge
Well,
Ethereum
it depends
position.
the size of his account. I can't judge on
Oh
that.
yeah, right. It's like, okay, what is it a percentage of? Take a look at the weekly on the NASDAQ, Coach Paul. What are we seeing here on the weekly? It is Friday.
Um, Actually, a nice wick, finishing towards the highs of the week. Kind of friendly, still in an uptrend, into this correction, holding a trend line. But end of the year, some profit taking, it looks like, but no damage to the uptrend is what I see. But this week there was some, I mean, it was rather uneventful
Yeah,
when you look at it from that perspective.
I think it was a
But I
down week
don't,
until today. It was.
yeah.
Yep.
So that it kind of relates to the question someone's, can you please advise whether Xmas week, pre-Xmas week, I'll just say Christmas week, is good for trading or better leave it after the new year? You have to make your own judgment. I'm just going to give you my experience. It has limited opportunity. It has a higher probability of flat to choppy markets. If you're been in a slump, I know what I would do. I would take the next 2 weeks off and refresh,
Get a
enjoy
little
your
reset from the
family.
markets.
Yeah, enjoy family and friends and get away from it.
Yeah.
But the key point is don't force anything. You really have to be disciplined and abstract everything out of it except for executing your trading plan. Now, also, a lot of we see that kind of action this week. We saw it a bit today. The larger players are already doing that. They've probably taken the month of December off. There's not going to be much risk put in this market. When I mean big trading positions. So right now, I would say take it off, relax, come back refreshed.
Go. And if you're gonna be here, look at the last holiday week we had, right? Thanksgiving week. NASDAQ rose 5%. 5% puts us at an all-time high in the NASDAQ. Could it happen? Anything can. But it'll be low volume. And I agree. I'm going to be on TopstepTV Monday, Tuesday. If there's opportunities to trade, I'll trade it, but I'm not going to try to force anything, right? I can't think of anything worse than ruining Christmas week, trying to force trades in a market that's not doing anything, right? I'm going to spend my Christmas money somewhere else.
Yeah,
So
that's a really good point.
and that's not trying to say I'm going to try to avoid losing trades, right? Because you don't trade that way. You just take a good setup. But if it's not clear, it's not clear. And you don't have to try to make it clear just because you're at your desk, because you just have the option. You have the option to walk away from your desk. All right, let's take a look at the 30-minute today on the NASDAQ. What is that white line? Really nice day today.
Support.
Support. Yeah, really nice day. We didn't get the urgency in the overnight session. Kind of to be expected. Japan rate decision was coming out. President was the president speaking last night? No, that was a couple nights ago. But Japan rate decision, the data that was coming out today, not surprised to see not a whole lot of price action in the overnight session. But after that Japan rate decision, which is this candle right here, so maybe we can mark that as our open. That's a candle that closed above the 200 moving average on the 30. It was a trend up day. That being said, it was half and half today. Half and half today, but we came back down, tested that 200 moving average. This looks pretty bullish. We talked about this during the opening call. Today was the first day volume traded above the 200 moving average in the NASDAQ in a week, right? 10 trading days. So it's a little bit of a turn, and it makes sense that we came down, tested that 25,000. Is this short covering? Is this buying coming in because they got a discount? Thank you, Santa, for the discount, and we'll see if we can continue to push higher here. What are you seeing on this 30, Coach Paul?
Well, interesting you put it. I was going to say it. The VWAP crossed, and
Yep.
it's the first time all week,
Yeah.
in a week. Also, yesterday's high volume candle. Let's frame that up. We didn't even. I mean, we've held that. That was buying on a selling candle. But we were taught that's a J trade. That we held that. We held the 200, and and on the opening, that was the day.
The open was the day. Yeah, that opening 30-minute candle was the day pretty much. There was a little bit of buying. So somebody came in pre-market, and anytime you see one of these, if you're an order flow trader, every once in a while you're gonna see somebody do something that looks like they should have waited for the market to open, but they do it before they do it before the market opens. Pay attention to that. There was somebody who came in and market ordered, bought a bunch of contracts in this candle right here, and then when we open up, it looks like they were a genius and they knew exactly what was going to happen. So then the market just rallies from that point. In seeing that pre-market, I bought pretty early, right? This is a 3-minute candle. This first 3-minute candle is almost 100 points. I think my first trade was 377 because I saw that pre-market buyer come in, close above that, and making themselves right. Yeah, I mean, they probably are, right? This is like I'm going to
Or
buy
they
some
could have been stuck.
or that, right? Yeah, making themselves right or very wrong. Right. Either way, they're like, oh, I can only get out of 1,000 now. I gotta get out of the rest when there's more volume. So we'll see. But seeing that buyer pre-market, really nice push, and then we get up to, uh, these 25 550s. We have Michigan sentiment, which kind of set the high for the rest of the day, framing out that news candle. After if you let's say you're the trader that waits for the news to come out, you look at this Michigan sentiment candle as an opening range. That's a clean trade setup right there as well. Anything you're seeing here on these shorter time frame chart, Coach Paul?
I found that interesting at that Michigan sentiment, but I think that was also. I mean, we reached my pivot levels. That was a first level resistance.
Mm.
I think it's the buying stopped.
Yep. Yeah, right at 600.
It's at that point. The new Michigan, I don't think it made much of a difference.
Mm.
The news, but it wouldn't make sense. I mean, that was quite a rally. That was a big opening, even on what is the 1 second
Sorry,
chart?
I was looking for something. Sorry, I was looking for a 1 second candle that
They have those.
they do, but we had 444 contracts trade in a second, right at 600s. No follow through from that point. Is that a J trade on a 1 second chart? Where's Maui man? Where's Maui man who's trying to get me to trade J trades on a 5-second chart? I'll do you one better. Here's a J trade on a 1 second chart. Close below that
Well,
low.
it's fractal.
I mean, yes, they are.
Mr. Open Iron Opinion. I use it. Oh, if you use it and it works for you, God bless you, man. What is the risk reward?
Let's see. Two ATRs on a 1 second candle is 6 points.
Or 6 ticks.
6 points. 6 points.
Wow, that's more than I would have thought.
Yeah,
Make 12.
1 second ATR is 4 points in the NASDAQ. Well, yeah, 4 points.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
There you go. There's your 2-to-1 trade.
No.
It's fractal, like you said.
And it's, I mean, literally, if you told me and I didn't look, it could be a half hour, it could be a 5 minute.
Yeah,
But one thing I just be careful is on a 1 second trade, you're going to trade a lot,
man.
and the fees add up.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Nice rejection off that 1 second volume though. 400 contracts trade up there, and no follow through. Really nice selling from that point. I do not suggest trading 1 second charts. We just did that for the. But anything else you want to talk about, Coach Paul, here on the?
Yeah, this market found buying yesterday, had continuation buying today. It's made, to me, it's made a nice base for follow through to the upside. That's the way I look at it. It was obvious to me that getting over that 200 with VWAP, this was concentrated buying. It's very friendly to me. I think for those of you who are looking for Santa Claus rally, I think you have the structure for a Santa Claus rally. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, and this isn't trading advice. This is the way I look at it. That's about it. It
Right.
was interesting that the Dow was pretty good, pretty solid on the opening.
So it was looking at the Dow on the open. Wow, nice rally. Came back, tested that opening range, got some urgency here as well. But then everything else kind of just flattened out for the rest of the day. Range traders, this is where you want to live. Shout out to Mandy. She was on with Coach Hoop and I for 2 hours today. She figured out how to make $600 out of this range in the NASDAQ. This, I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't look bad. If I was a range trader, I would welcome this. I'm personally just not gonna trade it because all of Jay's trades are gonna be right in the middle. And then when I buy it, it's going to go down. When I sell it, it's going to go up. So I try to stay out of this. But if you're a range trader, this is what you want to see. You got what, 4 hours of this? Who's a range trader in the chat and takes advantage of something like this? I'm curious. 808 Chris says the Dow and the Russell had good ranges today.
Yeah, Russell, that was all in 5 minutes, most of it.
Oh yeah, wow, look at this. Aspiring range trader, Bink. Hey, when the market starts to flatten out, right? And we know, I know. So here's the thing. I feel like I can identify range trading markets pretty well, right? We say it all the time here, right? If VWAP flattens out, the market's probably in a range. It just doesn't sit with trading range. I don't know. It's like
Doesn't fit your trading personality.
no, it doesn't.
You trade who you are. One of the things is you really have to know yourself to make, because how you make decisions under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I look at that and I'm like, death of 1,000 cuts.
Right.
Well, another person look at it and go, "Oh, that's great. I can carve it out." And good, like you said, Mandy's good at that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm lazy too. I really don't like to trade much.
Yeah.
I like to have a defined opportunity, and if it's not defined, the other 80% of the time, I do something else. But that's my personality. If you have that, I knew traders that could trade like that all day long. I don't have the patience for it because the more you trade, the more disciplined you have to be.
100%.
I don't have that kind of discipline.
Yeah. Yeah. I trade, and you'll hear some people who say, don't trade during the first 30 minutes of the market because it's too crazy. For me, that's like, it's like I thrive in chaos, right? Like, give me the speed of the market going in one direction, and like, yeah, you still have to be, but those are markets that make sense to me, right? When they choose a direction and go in one direction. So when we have range chop on the beginning of the day, to me, it's not don't trade because it's a specific time. It's don't trade because the market conditions don't facilitate your best trading. You're a trend trader and the market starts trending in the first 5 seconds of the market, guess what you got to do? Find a way to take advantage of it. Maybe it's not the first 5 seconds, but find a way to take advantage of it. Maybe you need to give the market some time to develop that, but no market conditions that make sense for you. Let's take a look at the metals. I barely looked at the metals today, although I saw silver making new all-time highs. Weekly chart here in the gold market. What are you seeing here?
To the moon, Alice.
One more week?
Yeah, probably. I just see it picking up maybe beginning of January where fresh allocations come in, new money. That is not. I mean, I do have a flair for the obvious. It's not a bullish, not a bearish chart. And it's starting to have that structure with that runaway we had earlier. We had the correction with less sideways movement, but it's running up the stairs.
It is. Yes, it is. Why don't we take a look at silver on the weekly while we're here? New all-time highs. This is just runaway. When are we trading $70 in silver? Pretty soon, I'm assuming. We are not far off, and 100 doesn't look far off either. We're still 40% away from it.
Parabolic.
Yeah, this is not a market that you want to short for very long. We talked about the gold that way for months. It's just hide the sell button. Unless you're selling to get out.
Unless you're long.
Right, unless you're selling to get out, right? And that way you could just hit flat and all, but this is just nuts. There's really not even much to say about this. It just keeps going up. What it did do, though.
Make it easy. What's the white line?
What is that white line? And Barron and I were on for slow markets last night. And, we were talking about the metals. We looked to get short gold, which played out pretty well. But both of these markets, I think, silver more so than gold, kind of respected that 200 moving average for the most part. You can see gold did trade price under it, volume under it for a little while. But silver, another one where I'm going to go to a 1 second chart again. Sorry, guys. I think this is interesting, but and I said this was going to be a quick session, and here I am on a 1 second chart.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Right. Where is it? There it is. Markets are fractal, right? Here is 147 contracts traded in a second in silver. It's a lot of contracts for silver. Is that a J trade?
Yeah.
It's a wild market, though.
So at 1 second, that's how many traded?
147 contracts.
Of big silver.
Big silver.
Wow.
And that was like a 0.2% range. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. How many ticks is that? 15, 20 ticks? 147 contracts. That's a lot of money there. But it's at the low.
It's set the low. And we had J trade also. That size set it all off. Who's trading? You know how much capital it would take to trade 147? Or would it be 70
split in half, right?
Something contracts.
Right.
Yeah, split in half. Either way, silver, we've talked before, silver is the leader in this right now.
Yes, it is.
There's no reason to believe it's going to change.
None at all. Really nice test of that 200 moving average. You don't have to try to catch this low, but to me, that's a confirmed pullback. Price tried to trade below. Volume was nowhere near trading below. And this is a market that's in an uptrend. So even if you don't catch this low, now you at least know where your risk needs to go potentially, right? Risk making a new low, risk trading through 50% of this candle, risk closing below the 200 moving average or VWAP or something like that. But just a really nice definition of a trending market.
Yeah. Well, like it's been trending. The trend is your friend. Uh, th- if you can find a range, I'm not a range trader, but in silver, if you if you're trading in a range, that's where I talk about discipline. You do not have time to make mistakes. And you get if you freeze, you get stuck.
Yeah. I
But
would say even trading the micros, this is a market that requires a good trade location. I don't feel like this is one where you can be like, oh, I feel like it's going up, so I'm gonna buy it. Uh, you probably get away with that in some other markets. I don't think this is one of those, right? I think this trading this and making profits from it is going to require some good trading, because it's moving. But even this pullback here, this is a 1% move. If you're trading the big contracts, your account might be gone here before it continues higher. All right. Anything else on the metals, Coach Paul? We want to keep moving.
what was platinum? Just
Oh
quick.
yeah, over 2,000. Platinum almost joined us in 2025 here, right at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, another one. Run away. Nice J trade on the 30-minute.
but it took a long time. But
Took a
it
long time.
whatever. Look at the size of that. Whatever that was. Does it matter?
Nope. 3% move to the downside, and as soon as we recover it, really nice. I'd frame out this candle if I was continuing to trade platinum, highest volume of the day. But really no hesitation at 2000s either. It's the first time we've been up here in a very long time. Platinum has to be getting pretty close to all-time highs here. These are definitely like multi-decade highs in platinum. But the metal markets are the MVP of 2025. Uh, anything else you got on platinum, Coach Paul?
That's it.
Look at that
Oh, is
weekly.
that the weekly?
Yeah.
This-
When you
It's
look at
got
it
to
that way,
catch
it's
up
just
with
like I
gold.
don't turn off the sell button.
Now, we don't know that.
Correct.
And so let's frame out last week's candle. Let's attach VWAP to it. Now, you have where's the selling? We had one candle of selling.
Yeah.
Like I said, throw out that sell button. I would say throw out the short button. I'm
Yeah.
not getting one of this train.
Right. Right.
And even if you're range trading, maybe I will not take the short side.
Yeah.
Um, but this is all these metals. It's just that's an economic or philosophical argument. I'm not going to go into that. Let's put it this way: it's very strong.
Yep. This is where I've done this as a trader. Oh, this is going too high. It has to come back. I'm gonna short it. I won't do that anymore. It has to give me a great reason to sell it. And every once in a while you can try. Maybe you could sell it based on price. Then again, let's say you had that idea, and it's not that it's the wrong idea. How much are you willing to pay to determine whether or not that idea is wrong? Because someone could have said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm going to sell platinum at 2,000. It should be a rejection level. Great." And you sell it right at that level. You trade it based on price. How much are you willing to pay to determine whether or not that's that idea is wrong? We ran another 1.25% from that 2,000 level. Uh, if you're willing to pay your whole account, then that's not a good trade. If you're willing to risk a couple $100s to see it, and that's within your risk budget, different story. Not a trade that I would take, but maybe you have a process to take that. But for all of us, right? If I'm willing to risk my entire account because I saw a buyer stepping in the NASDAQ, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to join with them. They're about to rally this market. That's not a good trade either, even if I have the right idea. So I won't do it, but we know there's traders out there that are going to, Coach Paul.
Yeah. And, like I said, it doesn't, you have to have a plan and a process to trade like that.
Right.
That is repeatable.
Yep.
And know if you can do it. And if you can do it, get it done.
Yeah. Get it done. We are gonna skip crude oil today. I can't bring myself to talk about this market today. Unless there's something you want to say about it.
Settle over that downtrend line.
There you go.
I will say this.
Okay.
My eye is on crude. It's the end of the year. We've had this dramatic. Let's put a monthly chart up there. What is that? Now, is that true? What's the low of that? There we go. We're at the bottom of that range. We're right now in this year. It's been compressed. There's an ocean of oil floating around the world. This shouldn't be a problem. And that's usually when bottoms are made. I mean, you talk about, is there any bullish news? So I'm just going to keep an eye out. It could be the surprise.
Yeah.
You don't hear it, but that trend line to me is going to be big. It's at the bottom of that range. Heck, a $10 move would be a big deal.
Yeah.
So I haven't given up on it. When everybody gives up, like gold at 200, I'll never forget it. Literally, the Bank of England sold their gold. Google it.
Yeah.
Terrible
like trade.
$225 an ounce, and believe me, no one wanted to trade gold. It had like $1 range. And it was the rest, the barbaric metal. It's just, I'm not saying buy, but I'm keeping an eye on it. It's when you have the whole world on one side of a market.
Yeah.
It doesn't have room for the other side, and that's when it gets interesting. So I'm keeping an eye on it. We won't go through today's action, but
let me know.
Yeah, how many people have thrown in the towel on crude, and that's a good sign.
Right. Natural gas. We'll do a quick one here with natural gas back above. We held this gap down here on the daily. I'll take a quick look at the weekly. We saw that very aggressive sell-off last week, but then we had this gap in October. Closed through half of that. Been kind of supportive. Back above the $4 level and above the 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. A VWAP on there. It's trying to find some buyers down here. And we are actually officially in winter by the time we come back for Monday. Winter starts Sunday.
Sunday, yeah, the solstice.
All right. Any other markets?
Shortest day, thank God.
Say it again.
Getting home it's the shortest day of the year.
Yeah.
At least in the northern hemisphere. For all our southern hemisphere viewers, have a great summer.
Right. Yeah. Can you tell I'm mad at it? Coach Hoop hates crude oil. I mean, I'll leave that there. Let's take a look at the Japanese yen. We do know we had that Bank of Japan rate decision yesterday. We talked about this one. This is close of the year. This has been a market that has been under extremely heavy sell pressure. And what was I looking at? Yeah, 20 moving average on the daily. That was the one. That's basically our trend line, the 20 moving average on the daily. Look at the high of the day today. What a move. On Bank of Japan rate decision. Coach Paul, I'm going to give it to you. You traded this today. Go ahead, sir.
I traded last night.
Yep.
We talked about this as we ended yesterday. I was looking for places we had urgency. We frame out the first half an hour.
For the rate
That
decision.
before the rate decision.
Right.
Okay. I can tell you this. I don't even know what the decision was.
They raised their rates.
Not, did they?
Yeah.
Not my job.
They raised their rates. They sold the yen. That's all Coach Paul cares about.
They sold it early.
Right.
We had urgency, and the rate decision must have come in that big candle. I got a 2-to-1. But I sold it once we made that low. If it's been made a new low, I'd hit a really high probability of extension. So we did that early this morning, but the opportunity came up early last night and flow. Two things: that urgency, and look at VWAP.
Yeah. That is a steep angle of VWAP.
It's a steep angle, so that's institutional selling. I mean, once we kept on, think about it. VWAP is not an external projection.
Right.
It's not a moving average. It's literally volume weighted average price. It's internal. So the internals, we showed we had urgency, and now we have what? I want to ask you, so we had urgency, and I mentioned institutional. We had continuation.
Yep.
And boy, look, I didn't even know that we finished that. We're at the bottom of the lows right now.
Yeah.
On a Friday.
Yeah, it may still be selling here. Yeah.
This has got a chance of gapping and going. So if we look at the weekly, and we talked, there's rarely ever do we finish at the highs or lows of a week. So if someone sends you an email, a Nigerian prince saying the value of Japanese yen, be careful, because who's buying this? The only people that are buying it turn around and have to sell it. That's pure flow, and this is it's starting to become coming into 2026. This could be headline news. I mean, it's the Japanese yen as a currency is in question now.
Yeah.
So,
there, Coach Paul.
All of that, it had the DNA of a great trade.
Really nice trade there. ZB Trader chat says, can you look at ZB? We can. I'm going to be honest, I'm not seeing too much here.
Well, I see
a range. I see a range.
Balance.
I see a range, right?
Yeah,
I see balance.
A range.
I see a range. So if you can
and look at the ATR. It's collapsing.
Yeah.
Which would be range trading.
Range, right.
Now, with that coiling, out of coiling comes a breakout.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to define it. To me, we're holding the 200. If it closes below it, then I think we have a chance for extension.
This is very range bound right now.
Yeah.
Very range bound. Let's take a look at the 10-year, maybe a little bit different, but I'd assume the same. Very much the same. Looks like the crude oil chart. Yeah. Yeah. I think for day trading, there may be markets that are presenting better opportunities. Right. I'll say it that way. If you're an option seller, maybe.
Oh man, they can't sell enough strangles. You don't hear too much.
Yeah,
It's okay. Other than that,
I'm talking on mute.
I quit trading it.
Yeah. Any other markets we want to talk about?
Um, Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. What are we saying here?
Oh, so there we go. Someone asked for it. Uh, Sideways balance end of the year. Where's that 20? It's still acting as a resistance. I'm not friendly to it unless we close above that 20. If we look at the half hour, they had a nice, that all came off of, you were talking about the relationship of the yen to the Bitcoin.
Yeah, somebody posted that on Twitter. Uh, that's just commenting on something on Twitter where they said rate hikes have led to 20% corrections in Bitcoin the last 3. We'll see if this one does it so far, and this is why you have to trade the market that's in front of you. They hiked their rates yesterday, right? So if I'm going with the assumption that that should lead to a 20% correction in Bitcoin, got a 5% rally to the face trying to sell this down here. And that's why we say all the time, trade the markets that are in front of us, right? There aren't many times I'm going to talk too much about the fundamentals. I leave that to Coach Hoop, and he talks about fundamentals in markets that are fundamentally driven. But especially in speculation markets, they're inherently random, where you might think something's supposed to happen, and then the market says, "Well, we didn't really like that, so we're going to go the other way." And I think that's very much the case here in Bitcoin as well.
Yes. I question, why is the 20 MA important? Which moving averages do institutions use on a higher time frame? You put it there, 20, 50, and 200. Especially the 200. But when you have a big rally or break, you can see short covering on a close above a 200. Or a big rally and liquidation under it, profit taking. And follow it. One of the things the rules are, it's just good to know. I know from working with large funds that they look at the ones I worked with, look at those moving averages on a daily time frame. And by the way, I use it to get an idea of possible institutional decision time, but it's not it's not at the hierarchy of my trading decisions. But looking at trend trading, it's important. And it kind of like a VWAP. If it's flat, market's probably, but we'll look at the 20 in crude on a daily.
Pretty
See,
flat, starting to tilt to the downside.
it's tilting, it's slow, it's a steady, that's not sharp. Now we'll look at gold or silver. Oh, what is it? Wow. Oh, look at that. See, okay, that's a good, what is that?
Soybeans. I'm just going through a couple charts here, but
All right, soybeans had a great head and shoulders. If you can't see it there, put up a line chart. It's very well defined on the line. That's why I always look at it. That's a well defined head and shoulders. Now, Look at the 20-day moving average. We had that huge rally. We held it, settled under it, and it was over. So if you bought it against the 200, and where do you get out profit taking? Well, on a momentum basis, if it's up here and gets under the 20, you could see some profit taking. This is a perfect example of that, especially with the angle of that 20 moving average. It's hard to keep that up. That's an example of trend trading analysis on a daily.
Yo, I think we can end it with this one. We got a comment in the chat here. Unless there's another market you want to talk about, but a comment in the chat from Mr. Frostline. I'm 2 days from a $25,000 payout. Tell me not to be stupid so I don't screw this up. Here you go. Mr. Frostline, if you know, there's not a guarantee that anything we do in the market is going to work out, right? What our job is as speculators is to assume risk for what we think has the potential to bring us back a reward. So over your next couple of trading days, you know, you may have some losing trades. I think on your way to getting your account balance to a point where you can take out $25,000, you probably had some losing trades, but you've managed your risk so you can build your account to that point. If you want to do something stupid, I'm going to ask that you don't. And if you want to just throw the money back to the markets, I can send you my Venmo account and you can just send the money to me instead. It's Christmas season, it's holiday season. There's probably, you know, some hedge fund manager, some intern at, you know, Citadel or wherever that's looking for you to make a stupid decision so they can go buy themselves a new BMW for Christmas. Don't give them your money. Instead, pay yourself for doing your hard work. Make the decisions to get your account eligible for a payout. Take the payout and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Nice job getting your account to that point. Don't just throw your money away. All right, Coach Paul, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I can tell you not to be stupid, but more importantly, internally, if you want the money, do you need the money? You earn the money.
Right.
So throw stupid out the window. Trade small if you have to trade at all.
Yep.
Someone said before it's Christmas and New Year's. You've done a good job. You got a payout, nice payout. What's more important than trading? Living a good life, a fun, you know, stress-free life. That's you don't. So go ahead. If you have to trade small. And I mean small. Don't draw down more than 500 in one day.
Yeah.
Lock it. And why even do that? Take the payout, enjoy it, and I'm going to leave it at this and have a great holiday.
100%.
Not only you, but everyone out there.
100%. Mr. Frostline, I want to comment on one more thing that you said there. I'm 2 days from a payout. Those do not have to be 2 consecutive days. Right? A lot of times, you know, people are just like, I have to have 2 days back to back. If you're trading with the Topstep account, you need $250 days. They do not have to be consecutive. So just keep that in mind. Right? One losing day should not take you that far away from that progress. All right. I think that's it. We got Coach Hoop doing a class in Discord, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then after that, enjoy your weekends, everybody. Finish up your Christmas shopping. That's what I'm going to get ready to go do. And if we don't see you next week, enjoy your holidays. Trade well if you continue to trade. Coach Paul, great stuff as always. Coach Hoop, thanks you helping us moderate this. Thanks for sticking with us. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. We appreciate you all being here. And we'll see you next week.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Hey, Danielle.